Hello, beloved spirits of earth. I am here at the cemetery trailing across some gravestones, which is very symbolic because I wanted to come here today and talk about fear consciousness as it relates to duality, as well as how it can impact the twin flame relationship and essentially evoke for separation consciousness, which is something that we're elevating, because essentially there cannot be any separation. If we are twin flames, we essentially came from the same spark of one eternal flame, as all of us did. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, we are all a conscious soul collective, all a conscious soul family. We're only different in seeming because we have this vantage point of this dreamlike reality, of this 3D reality, of this physical reality, and so it makes it seem like we're separate from each other, and then it kind of gets confusing. But when you rise higher in your consciousness, you come to realize that there's no possibility that we can be disconnected from anything. The only way that we can be disconnected from anything is if we feel disconnected from our true selves, from our spiritual selves, because that which is within is reflected without, and as is reflected within, with how you feel about yourself, is what usually spirals into separation with your twin, which stems from fear consciousness. So if you have any inklings of fear in your heart, fear of basically the light that wants to shine through the dark, the truest, purest aspects of you crying, desiring to burst through your being, it's crying out for you to come out. That's what the fear is. If you just take the mask off and relinquish the notion of being something that you don't have to be, then you can release that fear, which is false evidence appearing real, and move into the true reality. There was a quote by Jim Carrey that said, those who are depressed basically are tired of wearing the mask and being the character that their soul doesn't want to be. So you have to drop the mask, drop the character, move into the truth of love, resonate at love frequency, so that you can embody that love and exude it from without. Because if you have any inkling of fear, you and your twin are mirrors. So you're gonna mirror that fear in your actions or your inactions. And once you exude that fear consciousness, your twin is going to feel it, because he is you, she is you, they are you, and so you're going to reflect that back to yourself. And that's the same as with any relationship dynamic that you have. If you're exuding some inkling of fear, then it's going to mirror back to you. I remember I was in the beginning stages of when I was becoming spiritually awakened and making videos and everything. There was this one moment where it really clicked. I was recording a video behind a rock because I like to be secluded and just have my own little space to kind of connect with spirit and not have any other energies infiltrating my system while I'm trying to get the message out. And I heard someone coming, because I'm very perceptive to subtle energy, so I can hear, silent footsteps or whatever. And so I was like, oh my God, I hope they don't see me. I hope they don't, interrupt me, basically. And that was fear consciousness coming in, because, at the core of it, it's like, I don't want them to see me like this. I don't want them to see me in my true light. And how terrible is that? How terrible is that we don't feel comfortable enough in ourselves to shine our light? But because in essence, when we shine our light, we give others we lead by example, we lead by love, and we give them a real model for which they can also shine their light and be their truest self, because you never know who you're inspiring by being yourself. Essentially, you're inspiring everyone, because that inspiration is coming from deep within, and it's exuding within the very fabric of our time-space reality. So essentially, when I was back there, I ended up making noise, and I dropped my camera, and then that essentially made the person gravitate towards me, and then I had to step out behind, because I had to step out from behind the rock, because the guy was like, he was talking to his son. He was like, oh my God, that might be like a mountain lion or something. And then, see, I just created fear consciousness in someone else's reality because it was in mine. So So that's why it's so important to align with love and don't align with any doubt. No, because doubt is fear. Doubt is separation consciousness. There's no room for doubt in the twin flame relationship if you're really committed to it and you're really devoted to it. If you're not committed to the twin flame relationship, it's almost like you're not committed to a part of yourself. So if your twin has skedaddled and disappeared, ghosted on you, there's something that they have to work out within themselves. And in tandem, there's also something that you have to work out in yourself. And as much as it feels like it's a personal jab at you, it's never personal. Nothing is ever personal because everyone is coming from their particular perspective and their particular vantage. So step out of that taking things personal, because that's also fear, consciousness, and separation, and evoking for the possibility of separation consciousness. So continue to align with your heart, continue to align with your intuitive knowingness, continue to align with your truest inner light so that it can exude through. And if your twin is feeling in any way afraid, it's really important, because you guys are counterbalancing counterparts, and so it's important for you to step up into your mission, step up into your true light, and shine that light so that you can reflect that positivity and that love and that truth into the streaming consciousness between you and your twin, so that you both can elevate into the consciousness of oneness, into the consciousness of union, which is what we all want. But we have to find union within our own hearts so that you and your twin can find union together, and we can have union with the whole body of the collective, because that is essentially the mission here. Everyone may have different ways by which to connect with spirit and help others connect with spirit. I'm not going to go into what I mean, whether it be card reading, whether it be poetry, whether it be singing, whether it be working at a specific location for which you touch people in a certain way. Like it doesn't really matter what you do. It's really, what matters is if it's true to you, and if it's true to, and if it's aligned seamlessly with love frequency, then you cannot go wrong. You cannot go wrong with when you are aligned with soul truth. It would flow. If it's your purpose, if it's your purposeful mission, it would flow effortlessly, and you will feel light as a feather whilst you are doing it. Yes, maybe in the beginning you may feel a little shaky, you may feel a little anxious, you may feel a little quaky, but by golly, fear is false evidence appearing real. You may feel quaky because it's your first time stepping out and being your true self, and you may be afraid of judgment, and that's the duality of shining your light, thinking that someone is going to judge you, and that's fear. Sorry, there's a bee. I'm allergic to bees, so, but this time I try not to fear it, because another time there was a bee that came near me, and I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna get stung, I'm gonna get like an allergic reaction and die. And I got stung. I didn't die, luckily. I had to go to the emergency room. But seriously, fear consciousness is real, and I know it's really difficult to step out of that. It really can be, but fear holds us hostage. Fear suffocates us. Fear makes us not want to live, and if we don't live, then we will probably come back here to do it all over again. That's why it's such a blessing to be able to be at the level of consciousness, to share a time-space reality with your twin. It is the ultimate mirroring for which you can see the aspects of yourself that need the deepest healing, and that's when they're allowed to come out. You're allowed to purge them. You're allowed to connect with them. You're allowed to see where it stems from, whether it be a past life or this life. Most likely it's a past life, a perpetuated pattern from a past life that keeps coming up into your reality. And so it's very important to make those connections and shatter those patterns so that you can align with a higher vibration, a higher pattern for which you can continue to elevate in consciousness, because it's all about expansion. It's all about getting that higher level of awareness. And no matter where you are now, know that you are exactly where you're supposed to be, so do not feel bad for wherever you are. We are all at different points in our time-space reality, and we all incarnated in a certain form to reach certain people in our reality. Everything was divinely orchestrated, whether we know why or not. And the more you commit to this process, the more you get to tap into that deeper knowingness and that understanding of why things are happening as they are happening, when they are happening as they are happening. The synchronicities will be so blatantly obvious, so present, so palpable, that you know that it can't be anything other than the divine speaking to you through these physical forms, which are reflections of us. And so it's important to keep your mind's eye open and your heart open to receive the messages that are meant for you. Once you align with fear, you close a part of your heart space off, and once a part of you is closed off, how is anything going to continue to open up? But I also want to point out that suffering and the breaking of the heart space, seriously, it's almost like suffering forces you into life. Death awakens you into being. And the breaking of the heart enlivens you because it makes you feel alive, first of all. And it also is allowed the space for the light to come in so that you can exude it more into the fabric of our atmosphere. And I know in the twin flame community, we like to listen to card readers and listen to other people's perspectives and relate to other people on the twin flame journey, but everybody's journey is different. Everybody is on different waves. Everybody comes from a different level of awareness. And so, yes, you might resonate with some things, but everything is different. Everything is so different. So, never allow for what someone else says to instill fear and doubt in you about what you know in the depths of your being, exuding from the very marrow of your bones to be true, because it's your truth and no one else's truth, and no one else can tell you otherwise. Yes, they may be able to guide you back to yourself so that you can tune into something that you already knew, awaken a wisdom in you. But don't let anyone ever steer you away from what you know to be true, because you might be steering yourself away from something that was essentially meant for you, and then you're going to have to keep going through the lesson over and over and over and over and over again until you finally get it. That's why it's really important to take some time for solitude, take some time to connect with yourself so that you can know yourself better, so you can heal yourself deeper, and so that you can raise yourself higher, you and your twin, to the highest vibration, so that we can raise the collective consciousness's vibration, because boy do we need it, because fear is trickling in and out and through this nation, and we need it more than ever. And all of us are going to make a difference, whether we feel it or not, whether we know it or not. We're all being directed to make a difference. You wouldn't have incarnated here if you weren't meant to make a difference, and you already have made a difference because you're here now, and you came here with a certain knowingness, so you move in a certain way, and you love in a certain way, and people feel that. It's different, and you know you're different, and it's a blessing to be different. Because why would you want to be a copy when you can be an original? When you can bring something innovative and new into our world? When you can shift our collective consciousness to a better grand scheme of heart consciousness for the betterment of everyone involved. And so if you and your twin are in perceived separation, know that that separation consciousness is because there is some fear involved, and send some compassion to yourself, send some compassion to your twin, exude that love and light within you that always lives within you and streams from source, through you, through your twin. Continue to keep that love alive, and know that love is a verb, okay? Yes, we can say we love somebody and we can mean it deeply, but the actions show it more than the words could ever show it. And sometimes in that silence, your twin needs to feel it, your twin needs to see it, your twin needs to know it, to believe it. Because sometimes they're afraid to show that love because they're afraid to get hurt. And we both might be afraid to get hurt, but it's important that we continue to keep that love alive and awakened so that everyone can feel it, and so it can continue to flow in and out in a feedback loop of endless love. And so I send love and light to you guys as it flows through my vessel, flowing straight to your heart space, straight through to your twin, straight through to the entire conscious collective in this moment in time and hopefully forevermore. Blessed be my beautifully beloved beings. Blessed be for where you are, who you are, and all that you are becoming. I honor you and I support you for all that you incarnated here to be. And if you'd like to connect, please don't hesitate in contacting me. I will put my information in the description box below. I'm going to go home and show those acts of love to my twin. I'm going to send my twin a love message. I'm going to show it as a verb. I'm going to lead by example, and I shall give you an update when the time comes. Because I know I'm aligned with union. I am already in union with my twin. Because I am in union with myself. I am in union with my heart space. I am in union with the heart consciousness. I am in union with the love frequency endlessly. And I'm confident in the results. So blessed be, guys, and I shall talk to you guys very soon. Bye-bye. And all of these lovely spirits here at the cemetery say, blessed be, we are in eternal peace. Blessed are them.